Hello, beloved. This is Antoinette Marie. You know, I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Antoinette Marie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's discover the purpose for your life on this earth. This is Antoinette Marie Williams.
Good evening to each and every one of you. I am so delighted that you have decided to join me on today. So before we get started, I just want to know a couple things. How's your day been? How has this week been? And I want you to know that I love you. So as we get started, good evening, Baniqua. As we get started, or should I call you the Dawn? So before we get started, I want to play this song. And I know many people have asked me why I'm not broadcasting on Facebook. And it's because I really believe that there's a transition. As I transition, I'm transitioning eventually totally off of Facebook. And I just believe that that's the route that I need to take for what I'm doing at this particular moment. So if you want to be a part of, honestly, this movement that I truly believe that God has touched my heart and has given me liberty to do, you will have to go on YouTube, and typically within 24 hours of me posting or me broadcasting on YouTube, I will place it on my website, AntoinetteMarie.com, and you just go under the blog and you'll be able to see what's happening, right? So thank you. A very productive week. I am so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. So today on Antoinette Marie Speaks, so we're going to be talking about heart work, right? And it's going to be intense. I want to say that at the beginning, it is going to be intense. And so one of the things that I want everyone to know is that there is so much greatness that is in us. Many times we just have not tapped into that greatness. And I'm very, very grateful to God that He is allowing for me in the stillness of moments to tap into that greatness. I want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me okay, Baniqua? Do I need to turn it up a little bit? Maybe that's it right there. We'll do that. Okay, and so I want to play this song. It's by India.Arie, and it's called I Am Light. And I know many people have perhaps heard this song. So I want to just say, YouTube, I do not own the rights to this music, which is also one reason why I need to transition and eventually have everything that I do on my own website. But we take things piece by piece, right? So Baniqua, if you have a chance, let people know I'm not on Facebook, and I kind of tried to do this, but you know what, beloved, sometimes I truly believe that it is meant for whoever this word is meant for. And so it's definitely probably meant for us both, right? And so Take a listen to this, okay? This was part of my inspiration.
Listen closely to the words of this song.
Okay? But she said, listen closely to the words of this song, right? Thank you, Vaniqua.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light.
So if you listen to these words, she's just saying she's light. Listen, this today. All of us are.
I am not the things my family did.
You're not the things that your family did. You're not the voices in your head. You are. You're not pieces of anything that is broken. So today, we're going to speak about healing. That's what we're going to do. And I want to let you know there's so much light in you as God has, our Father, our Most High, has been truly allowing for me to go through this journey. Hello, Trinae. Has been allowing for me to go through this journey. And I won't tell you that it's been easy, but I'll tell you this. It also has not been very difficult. It has been challenging, right? But it hasn't been necessarily that difficult because many times, beloved, we already know some of the things that God is telling us to do. However, we get afraid. We get afraid. And I literally was like, I don't know what people are going to say about Miss Antoinette Marie Williams. And then I got over that very, very quickly. And so anytime God is getting ready to utilize you in a different manner, he prunes you a bit, right? So that you can grow, so that you can expand even greater. And so that's what is happening. God has definitely been doing the pruning, and I'm very, very grateful because now we can truly live authentic, and the process continues. The process continues, right? And so what I want to say first is, as we get ready to get into this, I've given people a good 7 minutes to kind of come on, and I want to respect people's time. And so let me just gather my notes. I am so excited about today. Vaniqua, did you have to work today? Miss Trinae, did you work today? At home or outside of the home? I want this to be a conversation, right? One day I think I'm gonna actually do this, maybe bring people on, maybe do it like a webinar. I've had people to ask me to do that. And as God continues to develop me in this, I will definitely be doing that. So one of the things I wanted to say is this. I know a lot of times individuals, because people know who I am and of the things that I have accomplished, perhaps, you know, being a minister and so on and so forth. I have said so many times I am an unconventional minister, and I am developing into this individual that I know God has told me to develop into, or really who I actually am. Now, Vaniqua and Miss Trinae, so I can see on my screen that there's a little bit of skipping. And so, beloved, anytime that I am bringing forth a message, a word, or giving light to millions and millions of people, this is what happens. And so I don't want you to tune off. I want you just to stay right there. I haven't changed anything. I saw you, Beniqua. I haven't changed anything with my internet or anything like this, but let me tell you what I do know. We as human beings, we have vibration, right? And so all vibration, that vibration is around us every time we breathe, right? And so all vibrations are not always positive. And so I know that anytime I'm getting ready to speak something powerful that will change people's minds and that will change people's lives, my internet does this because I'm speaking the vibration outward. So we do that. And so we serve notice to anything that is not like our Father God. But this is what I want to say to you. Let's get started, right? I do a scripture because that's my core, and I am reading the Bible a little bit differently, right? I am doing that a little bit differently, and everything I think that I'm reading is significant. But I want to say this, and the reason why I started with India Ari, I Am Light, is that when I was reading this, Matthew 5th chapter, 14th through the 16th verse, and this is the verse that I read. It says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light anything or a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and gives the light for all in the house to see. In the same way, Beniqua, let your light shine before others, so they may see your good works and give God all the glory." And a lot of times people read certain things and they're like, I didn't know that was in the Bible. Yeah, it is. It is, right? So today, one of the things that I had posted was we're really going to be talking about healing. And so I want to start off with that scripture, but also one of the things that I recognize within myself is that I started to really, Beniqua and Trinae, I started really understanding that my healing was not in anyone else's hands. I started looking at things that were going on in my own life, and I started seeing that in order for me to not be upset with other human beings, there was something that I needed to do. And I know a lot of times people will say, well, you don't know what that person did, or you don't know how it affected me, and you don't know how it offended me. I might not necessarily know specifically that hurt, right? But I do understand hurt, and I do understand pain. But I also understand that we are so powerful within ourselves that if we want to, if we really want to be healed, right? If we really want to be well and totally whole, you have to let people go. You do. You just, and I know it hurts. I know it's difficult, believe me. But there's times in your life that are coming where you have to let people go. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to happen overnight. I'm not going to tell you that, right? I'm not going to tell you that it's going to happen overnight, right? But I do want to say that it will happen. And here's one of the strategies. You have to do the work. You have to do the work, right? When we don't let people come in and whether it's abandonment that you're suffering, or that you feel like you have, or something that has happened in your past, I understand that, right? Okay. Whether somebody left you, whatever the situation is, your supervisor disrespected you, whatever it is, you have the power within yourself to release it, forgive them, and go on with your life, right? And so just remember that the power is within you because God has already provoked it and gave it to you, right? So don't be lazy. Forgive people. And I want to say this, for so many seasons in our lives, we continue to go through cycles. We go through one cycle and then we go to another cycle, right? And so God doesn't want us to do that, beloved, right? God doesn't want us to do that. And I remember every time I think about it, I think about how you hear so many things where it says that, and Jesus, touched his eyes or touched the ear and repaired it, or, had people, the blind, to see. But I remember this, there's a parable in the Bible that talks about a lady that had an issue of blood. It never said anything about Jesus touching her. Jesus is our elder brother. He gave an example for us, right? It says that, and she touched the hem of his garment, and she was made whole. You know what that tells us? Is that there's something that we have to do. I know a lot of times when we have hard situations, the first thing we do when it's difficult, and I get it, I totally understand it, but the first thing that we do is we say, you know what? God. And that's great. That's awesome. But God also says, everything that you need, I have given it to you. So this woman said, listen, I don't need for him to touch me. I don't need anything. I just know within myself that if I just got some energy, I call that energy, right? Come on, Vaniqua. I know some people, it's going to be difficult for some people today. But the objective today is to see people healed, right? And the number one way that I know, and from my reading, is to forgive. Forgiveness will cause you to be ill, beloved. Unforgiveness will cause you to be ill, will cause sickness, right? And so as you go throughout your day, as you go throughout your life, right? I just want you to know that there's some things that you have to do. I know a lot of times we want God just to take the pain away, but that's not, beloved, how it always happens, right? God has already said to you that you are already made whole, right? You are already healed. And there's some things that we have. He said, if I see it, that God says I already am, there's some things that he has already instilled within me, and that I have the power within myself to change some things that I don't like in my own life. Mm-hmm. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so with me saying this, one of the other things is that many times when we're going through heartbreak or disappointment, we always want to pursue other people. We always want to engage them in it, right? We want to engage other human beings in the hurt and the discomfort. But Vaniqua, God says to us is that we just need to pursue God, and God will do some things for us in our lives, right? He will show us, he will confirm some things in us, right? And so as we go through pain, anguish, hurt, abandonment, molestation, negative people, whatever it is, today, I'm going to encourage you to do some work, right? Right? Sometimes we got to fix our own mindset on how we feel about ourselves. I love what India Ari said in her song. She said, you are not the things your family did. You're not, beloved. No matter how crazy, how upset your family can be, or if someone in your family has done something to you, whatever it is, you are not that. That's what happened. So but that is not you, right? That's not you. If somebody in your family caused you to steal, or somebody in your family said something negative about you and said that, listen, I remember as a kid, I was growing up and people would call me black and child, or people would say certain things because my hair was a different texture, or it was wavy, or I was dark skinned and I wore glasses and I was this and I was that. I was all kinds of stuff. And when people continue to say negative things about you, sometimes, particularly as a young person, you begin to really believe like that's who I am. That it must be true, right? At 6 and 7 and 5 and 4 years old, I'm hearing people say, oh, wow, you're too dark to be, on this particular land. That then as a child, that must have been true in my head, right? But I want to say to us today that even if that's been said, doesn't make it true, right, Vanika? Just because somebody said a thing doesn't mean that what they said was actually true. Sometimes people will speak negativity out of the negative things that have happened to them. Oh, that's a good one right there, right? So for me, it's really about fixing and repairing your mind or your mindset, repairing your heart, repairing your own personal intentions. Repairing then will also, I believe, will repair your body. See, a lot of times, we really feel like we want to get our healings, when we're on the mountaintop, like, yay. But from my own personal experience, we get our healing in the valley, not on the mountaintop. But you know what happens on the mountaintop? How did you get to the mountaintop? Right, Vanika? You had to do some work. You had to climb, right? You had to put on the right type of gear. You had to have the right shoes on. If you're climbing a mountain, there's some work that you have to do. You cannot climb a mountain. I wouldn't suggest it that you climb a mountain and you don't have on the right gear. You got to have on the right gear to climb a mountain. And at the mountain, we want to stick that pole and say, yes, I'm healed. I have a talk show. I have this, I got that. I got a great home. I got a house. We want to say, oh, I got great kids. We want to say now, wow, I am healed. No, I truly believe that our healing really starts in the valley. Because in the valley is where the ugliness is. In the valley is where the gunk is, right? In the valley, many times, is where you see yourself. I call it mirror work. It's where you see yourself, right? And so as we move through this on today, hey, Michelle, as we move through this on today, just remember that you don't get healing all the time at the mountain. Many times the healing process starts in the valley. And I want to say this to you, beloved, do not keep what is not yours. Don't keep what is not yours. If it's not yours, if you didn't do it, even if somebody spoke it over your life, throw it away. You hear people say in one ear, out the other. That's what that means. That's what that means. And I will say to you today to do it quickly. Don't let it just sit, right? When people are speaking negative things about you, to you, and I'm just going to speak today, I'm just speaking to individuals. I'll go into families and children a little bit later, maybe not today, but maybe on next week. But don't keep what is not yours. You hear people a lot of times say, if it's no longer serving you, why do you hold on to it? This is the same thing, right? This is the same thing, right? And so today, for those of you that are just joining me, we're speaking about healing, what that looks like, some strategies around that, but also we must do the heart work, HEART, the heart work, right? We must do that, right? And I truly believe that with everything that is in me, there will come a time in your life, beloved, that you will recognize that you are the light. I just read to you in Matthew, the 5th chapter, the 14th through the 16th verse, the how significant you are. That if you are light, but you have to go through some of that darkness sometime. You're going to have to go through some of that darkness sometime. You're going to have to, and that's what the valley represents. So the darkness is the hurt, right? In order for you to stand on that mountaintop, in order for you to move into the new, which is really who you are anyway. And I also believe that many times, like the reason why people don't become who they want to be is because they won't stop being attached to who they were. Like a lot of times people is like, and I talk so much about purpose, right? And you hear people talk about, I'm going to find my purpose. And I don't know what my purpose is. Many times, I know sometimes it was for me. I'll say it that way, right? And sometimes you'll have a situation where you don't really know like what direction you should go into. And many times it's because you're concentrating on what you used to do. You're concentrating on what people told you that you were good at. You're concentrating on what your mom and your dad told you, right? But I want to say this to you. Is it working for you? Does it make your baby in your belly jump in the morning? Is what you're doing, is it working? When you wake up in the morning, Beniqua, are you waking up with joy? And it may not necessarily be every single day, because sometimes, depending on our age, our body kind of does a little thing. You're like, oh, you may have some aches. But that's what I want to say to you, is that many times, beloved, the reason why people don't become who they really truly are is because they won't stop attaching themselves to who they were or who they had or this relationship or that relationship, because they are familiar with that relationship, even if they know how it's going to end. And sometimes it does not end well. They are attached to the relationship. Sometimes people are attached even to pain. Full disclosure, I am not a psychologist, psychiatrist, a therapist. I am a woman that has gone through a lot, but I am a minister. And I have, gone through some of the same things that you have gone through, right? And I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm this way because, this is how it always has been. I've always been this way, or this is just who I am. Is it working for you, sis? Is it working? Is it working for you? Not is it working for your parents? And I'm speaking to millenniums and Generation Z's here today. Even let's say baby boomers. We have some people that are in their 60s that have never lived out the abundance within their own life on here on earth, because they never felt worthy, because they were not necessarily sure of themselves. And I say that that's their light just being smothered, right? And so today I speak also to parents. Release your children and let them go. I know you want them to be an attorney. I know you want them to be a doctor. I know you want them to be even perhaps an engineer. I know you want them to become an entrepreneur. Maybe your son or daughter just loves working a 9-to-5. That is okay. Because perhaps there's something in someone that is there at that 9-to-5. It is for them, your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your husband, your wife. There's maybe someone there that God has sent for your relative to be the light to that individual. Yeah, I know. I know this is different. I know this may be new to some people, right? And I also want to say is this. Sometimes you must do what you must first. You must do the hard work within yourself first so that you can be a better human. Doing the hard work so that you can be a better human being, so that your light will shine among so many other humans, right? A lot of times what happens is that, when as I hear people say, oh, I found myself. Well, you were never really lost, beloved. You really were never really the Noah, right? I talk about the Noah, which is what within you, You were never lost. What a lot of times what happens is that we don't nurture that. We don't nurture truly who we are. We don't execute who we are, and many times it's because of fear. And many times it's because we've been hurt, right? And I want to say to you today, you are valuable. You have so much value in yourself. You have so much value to other human beings and other individuals that also see value in you. A lot of times we try to take people with us. And I want to say, I was very, like when God began, to work within me and he began to work in me because I surrendered, right? I surrendered the old. I surrendered what people told me, this is what your life is going to look like. I surrendered people telling me about my gift and how to work my gift. I surrendered to, being and going through a process of knowing who I am, not knowing who somebody else told me that I could have been. I started telling myself who I already am. It just needed to develop. It needed to manifest. And in order sometimes for things to manifest in your life, you got to go through some valley, right? The doorway is for you to enter through. But a lot of times what happens is that we're trying to bring everybody through your door. So if you know that God has said you are a nurse, and then all of a sudden we say, oh yeah, be a nurse, be a nurse. You tell your daughter, be a nurse. You tell your son, be a doctor. You tell whatever it is. But I want to say this to you, beloved, that the doorway is for you. And there's a time in life where you have to go through that door by yourself and not bring anybody else with you, right? Sometimes that's going to happen to you in your life in order for you to get healed, right? And I know a lot of times, I know I was guilty. I was always trying to be the fixer. Like, oh, wow, I'm in this, this moment of discovery, this moment of transition. And I'm like, and because I learned from years and years ago, and God began to settle my spirit, and he said, no, this is for you. So when I can get you, this is what God was saying to me, when I can get you to understand who you are, and I can show you how to get to where you need to be, then you can bring other human beings so that they can do the exact same thing. But it doesn't always happen at the same time. And so God began to show me that I was a fixer. And I was like, what do you mean? People can live their own life. He was like, no, beloved, you are a fixer. You have a great amount of empathy. And God gave me and instilled in me to have the gift of empathy. Or people say that, Antoinette Marie, you are an empath. Whatever it is, I had to step back and say, like, it's almost like, Beniqua, it's almost like if you discovered, let's say, that you had a peach tree, right, in the back of your yard, right? And then you picked some of the peaches and you started making, let's say, like peach preserve or peach pie. You're like, yeah, taste this, taste it. And you're telling somebody else, taste it. And they're like, I don't want any. I don't want it. And you're like, you're gonna force them to take it. See, what's for you is for you. It's not always for everyone else, right? And sometimes it's for you for a particular moment, and then it is for you to bring others along so that they can spread the light to every other person, right? So as you go through your process of being healed, right? We heal from the inside out. not externally and then from the inside, right? Stuff doesn't heal us. External things don't heal your spirit, right? A new car will not heal your broken heart. A new home will not heal your broken heart. A new diamond ring will not heal your broken heart, right? So I want to say that as we move into this next phase of this conversation is stop trying to be Rescue 911. You cannot be Rescue 911. You can't, right? I want to say this to you, Vaniqua. Rescue yourself first. Teach yourself first. Train yourself first, right? And then you move into your children, your spouse, your friends, your community, then corporate America for growth, absolutely, right? That's what we do. But a lot of times we're just like, oh, I got this new thing. Oh my God, yes, yes, do this. Yes, this is great. This is going to save your life. And you're still in the valley, right? So the other thing is too, my version and your version may not necessarily be the same. And that's okay. It's actually good. God doesn't have, people that he has created to come here. We're not clones of another human being. That's why God is just dynamic. We all got a different fingerprint, right? So I know sometimes we get excited and we're like, oh my goodness, do this, do this, do this. I like it. And they're like, I don't even like that. Somebody asked me one day, and all while I was growing up, even in my 20s and 30s, I used to hear people say, oh, purple is the color of royalty. Every woman should love the color purple, the actual tangible color, right? And so I got on that train. I was like, oh, I love purple, 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 purple. Until I started realizing I did not even, it's not that the color purple is bad. That wasn't like my favorite color. I realized my favorite color was green. Green and white and red, right? So it's okay to be different. It's more than okay to be different. You are different, right? Are you willing to let go of what people have done to you in order for you to be, capital B, capital E, and live authentically you? Are you willing? Are you willing to let him go because he didn't do right by you? Are you willing? Because you're able, but are you willing to let her go because your credit was destroyed? Are you willing to forgive him? Are you willing to forgive her? Are you willing to forgive when somebody has done you wrong, or a business or an entity has done you wrong? Are you willing to forgive? And when you know that you are willing to forgive, that's where you start climbing the mountain. That's when you start to climb the mountain, right? And I want to say this to you. When you forgive people and let them go, you are releasing all of the negativity, all the damage, right? You're releasing it. You're releasing it. And today when I was studying for this episode, I was in my room and literally I could hear God saying, let them know that the person, and particularly when we're talking about parents, let me say something to you, beloved. They didn't know. If they would have known who you were, if they would have known who you are, they would have not treated you that way. If they would have known, and I'm talking about, a deeper level thought process, right? If they would have known, if they truly would have known that you are light if they really truly would have known that God, our Father, created you, knitted you, fashioned you in his image, they would have not treated you that way. If she would have known who you are, they would have not treated you that way. And so when I heard God say that today, I tell you, I had such, even then, because there's some things that had happened to me in my life. And I listen, when you have released things, you can look at people and still speak. You can look at people and say, hey, hello. But they didn't know, beloved. Listen, I got some folks in my family, they did not know who Antoinette Marie is. They didn't know, because I truly believe if they would have known who I am, they would have not treated me that way. If they would have known who you are, beloved, he would have not treated you that way. So forgive them. Forgiveness, we know it's not for them, it is for you. And this is part of the forgiveness as we move into the healing, right? Forgive them and let them go. When you let other people go, you're really letting yourself, that part of you, you're throwing it out. You're letting that piece go, right? You're letting it go. And I know this coming Sunday is Mother's Day. And so many times, mothers, sometimes your daughters may stir up what felt to you as a child as something that was negative, right? Sometimes our innocence was violated. It was disturbed. It was destroyed. It was disrupted. So I'm speaking to mothers today and say, forgive who hurt you, so that now you can teach your daughters to also forgive, so that they can begin to truly, truly heal, no matter what the situation is. It might be a guy. It might be someone that's in your family, an auntie, your uncle, whoever it is. Let's start to train our daughters and our sons differently, right? And I tell you, I had some issues with some folk, I'll just say that. And I tell you, you got to be careful what you speak in your house, because you may say, I never taught my niece or my son or daughter to do that, but they heard you because of what you have spoken, out of your mouth, right? So today I want to encourage you. And I want to say this, I'm halfway through. If you have just come in on today, I'm only on YouTube. I will be posting this on my blog by tomorrow, within 24 hours on AntoinetteMarie.com. You can get it then, right? I know some people, and I have somebody that just texted me, are you on? I am on, beloved, but I am on YouTube, right? So if you want to hear anything else that I'm saying, you know how to do it, subscribe and so on and so forth. So let's get back into this, Faniqua. I love you, by the way. I know you're going to love the book too. So the next level to that is to stop resisting change as you go through valleys, right? There's going to be some changes as you go through the valley. And it's okay, because that is taking you to your next point in life. It's taking you, sometimes you got to get off the exit in order for you to get to the house. Sometimes we just want to keep going. Oh, it's not working. I don't care. I'm just going to keep going, because this is what I know. This is all I know. And so I'm going to just keep going. I'm going to keep doing the same thing. Beloved, it's not working. That's okay. I don't know nothing else. We got to stop. Sometimes you got to get off the exit in order for you to get to the house, right? In order for you to get through the valley, right? You got to climb up. You got to do some work, right? So this is a strategy. One of the things that I end up doing, from anybody that hurt me, did anything negative to me, right? And so I remember an incident where I think I was about 26 years old. And I went to this individual and I told them, I said, you know what you did? You hurt me to my core. And I want to just let you know it was not right what you did. It wasn't right what you did. But I want you to know that I forgive you. And when I said that, I also said, can you tell me why you did it? Right? And maybe that wasn't the best thing. I was 26. Maybe that wasn't the best thing, but for me, I needed to know why. I felt like my soul needed to know why. My heart needed to know why. And that person said to me, I don't even necessarily know why, but somebody did it to me and I thought it was okay. I didn't accept that, beloved. I didn't accept it, but that was their truth. And so when they said that to me, I said, I don't understand how you could believe that. However, Vaniqua, I said to them, I forgive you. I forgive you because I am not able or was not able to live my life in the trueness of who God is saying that I am when I had not forgiven, when every single time I would have a situation that record player, those flashes would come back up, right? And it wasn't until I did that I could look at that person and speak, right? I see you saying, Vaniqua, you said that was me. It was my safe place, even if I wasn't even technically safe. Yeah, I know. I was there, right? So as we move into sometimes what happens, in our lives, I want to say to you, get out of your head and into your heart. Find that safe place, that place within you to forgive those people that have hurt you. For me, I had to go to that individual. And actually, every single time, for the most part, I've gone to people and said, listen, this has what you have done, what you did, this is how that has affected me. Now, I know some people will say there's absolutely no way I could go to anybody and have that conversation. It's okay. It's okay. We're not all the same. We're not better. We're not great. We're just all the same, right? We don't do things the same, and that's okay. But if you're not able to do that, sometimes it's based because people have passed away and they've transitioned, or you just feel like, you know what, I'm not ready totally for that, but I am ready to forgive and have that space in my heart. And so what you can do is you can actually create, and sometimes you'll hear people say you can write a letter to that person. So if that serves you well and that serves you better, you can just, on a little sheet of paper, get a little sheet of paper and you can write. You can say, and only you and our God is seeing it. You don't have to show it to anybody else, right? Because the way you do it, that's the way you decide to do it. Because why? Because who you are matters. What you do matters. And so you can take that piece of paper and you can bullet point it and say, I'm upset with you because of this. I am furious with you because you did this. And you can cry. And I always talk about having that sacred place, right? That sacred place, or some people call it a secret place. Like I said before, mine's is my closet. I love my closet. I love it because I feel as though I am in a space that I trust, I'm in a space where I know God is as well. When people know when that door is closed, baby, you don't come up in there, right? So you take that piece of paper, you fold it up. You can do either two, do it however you would like, right? You can burn it. Some people, that's very effective for them. It's very effective for them to burn it, or you can flush it down the toilet. I've seen people do that as well. I've seen people cut it, right? But I want you to get out of your head in order for you to get into your heart. And when you get into your heart, you can forgive and you can be whole. Okay? Right? I truly believe that God, the universe, and I tell people all the time, they're like, oh, wow, you say universe. Listen, He is the creator of the universe. Stop being so mystical. It's not about being mystical. It's about knowing who you are, right? The creator of this universe. I think we dummy down God. Oh, he's just the creator of America. No, he's the creator of galaxies, right? So the universe that God has created is calling for you to move forward. You have to move forward. In order for you to have that grace and that joy, I'm not talking about just happiness, right, Vaniqua? I'm not just talking about being happy. Oh, I'm happy. Listen, happiness is due to a particular situation. Because you can be happy now and you can be sad tomorrow. Joy is when it's embedded within your being, right? Joy is when it is embedded within your being. Like I can still have joy if if somebody comes and I get some mail that says that I owe taxes. Let's just say that because it's tax season. I will still have joy because joy is who I am. That is embedded within me because I don't get my joy. Come on, right here. I don't get my joy from external gratification. I don't get my joy from external things, right? Right there, that part right there. So I'm saying to you, even if something negative happens, still have the joy. And when you've done that, when you've burnt it, when you've released it, and you've done whatever you need to do, I say, even if that means that you go, if you have we have a lakefront where I live, you can go to the lake, take it, ball it up. I don't think this will be littering, but I'm not really sure. Put it in a time capsule. Throw it somewhere else, So it do what you know that you need to do to release it. And the goal is to release people and let them go. And when you release people and let them go, you have been emancipated. You've been taken out of that. But you do that. Nobody else does that. You do the work. And the reason why it's important that you do the work, because then it is authentically you. It's not for somebody else to, oh my God, they're going to lay hands on you. And then all of a sudden they're going to, you're going to be slain. People call it slain in the spirit. You're going to be slain and knocking over chairs. And all of a sudden you're going to get back up. You're going to be like, oh, I forgive it. That is not, no. That is not the God that we serve. That is not the God that created this universe. That is not the God that we serve, right? And I want to say this to you as well. Vaniqua, the lessons are part of the valley. The valleys are the lessons, right? The valley are part of the lessons. I know a lot of times you hear people say, I don't want to go through anything. I just don't want to go through anything. Well, if you don't want to go through anything, then you don't want to grow. You have to grow. You have to grow, right? Now, I'm not saying that people do horrible and horrendous things and that's what God wants them to do. Absolutely not. That is not God. People have a free will. So God didn't place and tell somebody to hurt, harm, or danger you. Right? That wasn't God's will. I want to say that. I want to be very, very upfront about that. God doesn't He doesn't create it where, oh my God, this is for somebody to hurt or harm you, right? People do things that they should not do. And even in that, I'm asking you today to find it in your heart to release them. Write the letter. And if you have to write more than one letter, beloved, write more than one letter. If it's more than one person, do the same thing and release them. Write it, burn it, flush it down the toilet, whatever you feel like whatever you need to do to get your freedom from that situation. And you may need to do it more than once. Remember I was talking about the valley. Sometimes you're in the valley for, you're not just in the valley for a day. You may not be in the valley for a week. You may be in the valley. You may be in the valley for a couple of months. You could be. Right? So don't resist life's lessons. Right? And it's going to take courage for you to do what I'm saying. It's going to take courage for you to know that you have the capacity within yourself to release somebody. Yeah, it's going to take courage for you to do it. Because on the other hand, what we can do is we can stay mad. We can stay mean. We can stay angry. We can stay bitter. And we can stay sick. And we can stay ill. And we cannot grow. Right? That's not what we want to do. Release people and let them go and let them be free. Release that situation. Sometimes you have to release a situation because so many times it's up here. You have to release the old, right? You cannot have something great and expansive and new when you're holding on to what was. Whatever your family said about you, that is not who you are, right? And so as we go, as on Sunday, we have Mother's Day, I want to just say to our mothers, right? How you treat your own womanhood is how you train your own daughters and other women. How you treat your own womanhood is how you train your own daughters. So if your daughter sees you always working, always bitter, always fussing, always arguing, always upset, always never on time, negative. That's how you're treating your womanhood. That's not the essence of a woman, right? The essence of a woman is to nurture. The essence of a woman is mighty. The essence of a woman is to fix her crown, right? Don't resist life lessons. Be very aware of what you're speaking out of your mouth, right? Right? Resistance is futile when the truth is evident. You don't have to keep resisting. I've seen people resist even gifts that they know that they have because other human beings, are like, what does that mean? What does that look like? Stop it. I was one of them. People, have you ever, Vaniqua, had a situation where people are like, there's something different about you, or somebody touch your hand and they're like, ooh, I don't know what that's about. People know. Spirit speak to spirit, right? Yeah. And I want us as mothers to pay attention to what I call patterns in our lives. The pathology of patterns in our lives. Are you controlling? Or do you fuss all the time? Are you negative all the time? Do you have anything positive to say? I want us to think about those. I call it pulling back. Pull back a little bit. Pull back a little bit and recognize, are those patterns? Do you see yourself doing that? And if you do see yourself doing it, why are you doing it? Did you see your mother do it? Right? Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm saying today, if you want your healing, you desire it, I'm saying to forgive people, I'm saying to write it down. If there's an organization that did you wrong, write it down. If you can go to the CFO, whoever it is, if you can go to them, and even here's the thing, even if they are still alive or you know how to get in contact with them and you feel like that's not going to serve you well, you don't have to go and do that. I had to. For me, it was a part of my process. I had to go to individuals that had hurt me. I had to go to and invoke truth. Sometimes you have to invoke truth to other people. And I tell you, I had a situation where it took almost 5 hours just in a conversation, Vaniqua. But I knew I was not leaving there until I got it all out. I'm grateful that individual didn't run away from it. I'm grateful. And I had to lean back because it was a time period I could not look at that person. I couldn't look at that person. I didn't want to see that person. I didn't want to smell that person. And that's okay too. It's okay to take a break from a situation where you know that it is not serving you well, right? In this particular situation, you're seeing this person every single day, every other day, every week, whatever. Sometimes you got to take a break in order for you to continue to heal, right? Only you know when you're whole, right? So today, that's what we spoke about. I can't do it for you, but I promise I'll walk with you. I will. I'll walk with you. At any time, you can email me and I will walk with you. Speak at AntoinetteMarie.com. You can shoot me an email. I'll walk with you. Because here's the thing. There are times where you have to walk it alone, but there are also times where you don't have to walk it alone, right? Remember I spoke about the door? So I had to go through the door first. And now God is saying, now you help people go through the door. And that's what I'm doing. I want to help you go through the door to find and to believe that you are so much worth so much more. And for you to heal, right? You heal from the inside out. That you find the healing. And you know what you have to do in order for you to be the best you that you absolutely can be. The choice is yours, right? You rule from your heart, not from your head. From your heart, not from your head, right? The choice is yours again. There is no way around valleys. This is my quick recap. There's no way around valleys. Who are you? What are you doing? Internally, healing internally will help you heal externally. I always say that. Healing internally first will help you heal externally. So that when you see people, you're not still, talking about them, right? I heard somebody say internally referencing instead of externally validating. There's so much value in the valley. So we're going to go through that valley. We're going to grow through it, right? We're going to go through it and we're going to grow through it, right? So learn the lesson of healing, right? I want to see you on your throne, right? I want to see you strong. When I say strong, it's not about power. It's about what lives already within you. The brightness that is in you, the light that is in you, so that you can let your light shine, right? And so those individuals that God has called you to and birthed you to, that those individuals would say, you know what, there's something about her, there's something about him. You hear a lot of times people call and say, spiritual mothers and fathers, that's not necessarily something that I can agree with at this point in my life. What I can agree with is that we are all brothers and sisters, right? And that who God tells us that we are here to help one another get through the valley. And so today, I am here to help you get through the valley. I want to say to you, Miss Beniqua, the Dawn, and others that are on here, there's so much greatness in you. We have to just be able to identify that. And sometimes the greatness cannot come from our spirits and from our hearts so that other people can see, because we have so much hurt in us. And so today, we spoke about how and strategies on how you can break through the hurt, break through the pain, break through the confusion. And we even gave you a scripture. How about that, Beniqua? And so I want to just say to you, be strong, have great courage. God is on your side. I am too. And God knows exactly what you were placed on this earth to do. We just need you to be exactly who you were called and fashioned to be. Book of Jeremiah tells us that. And so I hope that this word, this encouraging inspiration on this Wednesday, does your spirit well. And that every single thing that you do, that you put your mind to, that you focus on, that you concentrate on, if it is uplifting humankind, human beings, that it prospers. That's what I hope. That is what I hope and I pray. So I want to thank you. I'm so delighted that you have decided to join me on today. Today is a good day. Today is a good day. And I'm going to leave you with this. Remember, you are the light of the world, and a city set on a hill cannot be hidden. No longer allow for your light to be hidden by unforgiveness. Let them go and be free. And be free. I hope that you are doing absolutely well. I hope that every single thing for the rest of the week finds you doing exceptionally well. Thank you, Miss Beniqua, for being on here until the end. As always, if you have a husband or a wife, let them know that you love them. Love is not just what you say or what you speak. It is what you do and how you treat other people. If you have children, let your children know that they are important to you. You know why? Because they are significant to your lifespan. Yes, they are. And if you have grandchildren, let them know that they are significant by showing them love from the inside out. This is Antoinette Marie Williams of Antoinette Marie Speaks. I will see you on Sunday with Bridging the Nations. Take care. Be well. I love you.
Hello, beloved. This is Antoinette Marie. You know, I believe that every one of us is born with a purpose. No matter who you are, what you do, or how far you think you have to go, you have been tapped by a force greater than yourself to step into your God-given calling. And I also believe that each one of us has an essential role in the whole of humanity. You see, the purpose of me creating Antoinette Marie Speaks is to offer the wisdom of experience from visionaries, artists, teachers, and trailblazers who have walked this road before you and who have have shared their inspiration and lessons with me. So let's go. Let's take this journey together and let's discover the purpose for your life on this earth. This is Antoinette Marie.